Princess Elira was the only daughter of King Darian, a wise yet burdened ruler. She was admired across the land, not just for her breathtaking beauty, but also for her intelligence and the fire of courage that lived in her heart. Yet for all her gifts, her life was not her own. Locked within the towering walls of the palace, she lived in gilded loneliness. Her only true companion was Lina, a fierce yet gentle tiger who followed her like a shadow. The law of Astravia was cruelly strict. Before Elira's upcoming birthday, she was required to marry a prince chosen from noble bloodlines. But the princess had no love for such men. She found them shallow, arrogant, unworthy of her heart. Each suitor that came left her colder than the last. This defiance gnawed at King Darion. He feared for the kingdom's stability. In desperation, he turned to his most trusted advisor, or so he thought, the royal state preceptor, Zerak. But Zerak's heart was black with ambition. For years he had studied dark sorcery in secret. He had not pledged loyalty to the king. Instead, his dreams reached far beyond. His true goal was the legendary lamp, an artifact of unimaginable power, hidden away in the mystical cavern of wonders. If he could claim it, he could overthrow Darion and become ruler himself. Through forbidden rituals, Zerak discovered a chilling truth. The lamp could not be taken by the greedy or the corrupt. Only one pure soul could enter the cavern and return alive. That soul was not a prince, not a warrior, not a lord, but a poor boy from the city streets named Kale. Kale was an orphan, abandoned since childhood. He had no riches, no family, no shelter. His only companion was Tico, a clever little monkey who clung to him through hunger and hardship. Despite living in poverty, Kale's heart was full of kindness. He gave bread to beggars when he barely had enough for himself. He dreamed not of wealth, but of freedom, to see the wide world beyond the crowded alleys of Astravia. One fateful morning, destiny entwined their paths. While Kale was slipping through the bustling market, chased by angry merchants for stealing a loaf of bread, he stumbled into someone unlike anyone he had ever seen. It was Princess Elira, though he didn't know it at first. Dressed as a commoner, she had escaped the suffocating palace to taste life beyond the gates. With Lina's help, she had left her guards behind and wandered among her people. Kale was struck by her presence, the sparkle in her eyes, the fearless way she touched the world around her. It was as if lightning had struck his heart. Elira, too, felt something new. She had never spoken to a commoner her age, never seen such freedom in another's smile. But trouble came swiftly. A shopkeeper caught Elira's arm, accusing her of theft. Panic filled her eyes. In that instant, Kale stepped forward, improvising a lie. He claimed she was his sister, confused and hungry. Playing along, Elira nodded, and together they fooled the merchant. The two of them ran through winding alleys until they collapsed in laughter. In that stolen moment, they shared dreams. Kale told her of the open skies he longed to see. Elira confessed the weight of her royal cage. Though they barely knew each other, their hearts beat as one. But their joy was short-lived. Palace guards, commanded by Zerak, appeared out of nowhere. They seized Kale violently, dragging him away. Elira cried out, but she was powerless. Kale was cast into the cold, damp dungeon beneath the palace. There, in the shadows, Zerak appeared disguised as a frail old man. He whispered of riches, freedom, and a way out if Kale would only help him retrieve a lamp from a hidden valley of treasures. Desperate and hopeful, Kale agreed. Guided by Zerak, he journeyed to the Cavern of Wonders, an enormous tiger-shaped maw carved into stone. The mouth opened only for him, glowing with ancient fire. Inside, gold and jewels sparkled like stars across the cavern floor, but Zerak's warning rang in Kale's ears. Touch nothing but the lamp, or doom will fall upon you. Kale moved cautiously. With Tico perched on his shoulder, they followed a glowing moth deeper into the labyrinth, until they found it, the lamp, plain and dull, sitting on a pedestal. But Tico, ever mischievous, couldn't resist grabbing a ruby along the way. The cavern roared like a living beast. The ground split open, fire erupted, and the treasures melted into lava. Clutching the lamp, Kale raced toward the exit. Zerak reached down, demanding the lamp before helping him out. Trusting him, Kale passed it up. But the moment Zerak held it, his mask of kindness fell away. He sneered and let Kale plunge back into the collapsing cavern. In that hopeless moment, Tico revealed his cleverness. He had snatched the lamp back before Zerak escaped. Trapped beneath the rubble, Kale rubbed the lamp's surface. Suddenly, light exploded, and a mighty being surged forth, Orin, the spirit of the lamp. Towering, powerful, yet bound by ancient law, Orin announced, "You are my master now. You hold 3 wishes." Amazed, Kyle used his first wish for escape. The cavern crumbled behind them as Orin carried Kale and Tico to safety. Grateful beyond measure, Kale made a vow, "I will use my last wish to set you free." Orin, stunned by such kindness, smiled for the first time in centuries. To win Elira's love and prove himself worthy, Kale made his second wish to be transformed into a prince. Orin draped him in silks, gave him treasures beyond imagination, and conjured an army of servants. Riding into Astravia, Kale presented himself to the king as a foreign noble, bringing gifts beyond value. The palace was dazzled, but Princess Elira's heart remained cold. Wealth and titles could not impress her. That night, Kale met her again in secret. She studied his face. "Haven't I seen you before? In the market?" she asked softly. Kale panicked. Afraid of losing her trust, he lied, claiming he had never been there. Instead, he offered her a gift of wonder, a ride on a magic carpet. Together, they soared above the city, past towers of gold and rivers of moonlight, into a sky glittering with stars. Elira's laughter filled the air. Her heart swayed toward him, yet deep down, she sensed something unspoken. But their happiness was not safe. Zerak returned, furious at being deceived. He ordered Kale drowned in the ocean. Chained and sinking into darkness, Kale could not breathe. Seeing his master dying, Orin bent the rules. He granted Kale's life as the second wish, saving him. Kale rose again, stronger. He exposed Zerak's treachery before King Darion. Enraged, the king commanded his capture. But Zerak, cunning as ever, uncovered the truth. Kale's power came from the lamp. Using his hawk Rhina, he stole it from Kale's pocket. Now holding Orin, he made his wishes. First, he crowned himself king. Second, he became the most powerful sorcerer alive. With a cruel laugh, he revealed Kale's secret to Elira, that he was not a prince, but a poor orphan in disguise. Her heart broke. Then, with a sweep of his hand, Zerak banished Kyle to the frozen wastelands. But Kyle's courage had not died. With the help of the carpet, he returned. Together with Elira and his friends, he challenged Zerak. Yet Zerak's magic was overwhelming. He hurled fire, summoned storms, and struck down all in his path. In desperation, Kyle shouted, "All your strength comes from Orin. You'll never be greater than him." Blinded by pride, Zerak made his third wish to become the most powerful spirit in existence. Instantly, Orin transformed him. His body grew monstrous, his voice thundered, but chains of magic wrapped around him. Kale whispered, "Yes, you are the strongest spirit now, but all spirits are bound to a lamp." In terror, Zerak was sucked, screaming into a blackened lamp. Orin hurled it deep into the endless desert, never to be seen again. With peace restored, Kale confessed his lies to Elira. He admitted his fears, his love, and his mistakes. The king, moved by Kale's bravery and honesty, named him Prince Consort. Finally, Kale fulfilled his vow. He used his last wish not for himself, but for Orin's freedom. For the first time in 10,000 years, the spirit was free. Tears glistened in his eyes as he embraced Kyle. Laughing with joy, he spread his arms to the sky and vanished into the horizon, eager to explore the world he had been denied. And so, Kale's journey ended not with riches, but with something far greater: love, freedom, and the courage to be true to himself. Thank you for watching.